So, this one's a lesson in biology, psychology, and evolution, looking at the differences between men and women. And there will be plenty to take away from this one that will help you with your dating life, whether you're a man or a woman. So sit back and listen to old King D. He's kind of suit me. So I'm back with another one, and this one is called A Lesson in Evolution, Biology and Psychology, and how you can apply this to your dating life. That was a bit of a mouthful, weren't it?
That's what she said.
Michael, please. Please.
So, let's get into it, shall we? So we've got the man right here. Can you see that all right? Hopefully I've edited it in the right place. And a woman right here. As you can see, they're both a little bit different. In fact, they're very different. As you can see, the man is much bigger and stronger. And once upon a time, before this safe modern world we live in, it was the men's job to go out and hunt and provide for and protect, whilst the woman looked after the children. Now, as you can see, the man has much bigger muscles, and he's much more efficient for hunting and protecting, much more than the woman. Clearly, he's faster and stronger, therefore much more likely to bring home the bacon. I'm going to take these off now. And you may also notice that he doesn't have any tits. There's no milk coming out of them, let me tell you. Therefore, you can tell just by looking at them both which one's more efficient and purpose-built for looking after children. And I can tell you now, we'd have been extinct a long, long time ago if these decided to change roles. She'd be bringing back next to fuck all because she's too small and fragile and slow to be able to catch any animals. And the baby will be crying and it's hungry because it hasn't been fed all day. So what can we learn from that? Well, because it was the man's job to protect and provide, she's clearly looking for somebody who can protect her and her future children, and somebody who's resourceful. So what does that mean? Well, that means if you got big muscles and you got a successful career and making lots of money, you're going to do pretty well with the ladies. And if you're wondering,
well, how can I show a woman I don't even know, who doesn't even know me, that I'm resourceful and that I make lots of money?
good question. Well, let's just go look at all the rich, successful men then, shall we? What are they driving?
Expensive cars?
Very good. And what do they wear?
Fancy clothes? Expensive brands?
You got it. A star for you. So going back to the cavemen, let's imagine that cave woman picked a scrawny, weak, lazy man that can't protect or provide. Their kids' chances of survival are slim at best. So this is where we get to the psychology part. Now it would make sense now, wouldn't it, that a woman would desire a big, strong man who is resourceful. Just think of it from an evolutionary point of view, because that's going to ensure the survival of her DNA. And we are built for survival, and we're built to reproduce. That's why sex feels good. We're designed to enjoy it, because if sex was horrendous and it was awful, we didn't like it, we'd be extinct. Because it feels good, we want to do it. It's that survival part in our brain encouraging us to survive and reproduce. That's the whole point of life. I think, especially in this modern world we're living in, it's very easy to forget that we are actually animals, and animals are designed to survive and reproduce. And find the ideal mate that's also going to ensure the survival of our offspring. It's common sense, but we seem to be lacking in it these days. And for all the doubters, if you really think that a few good years that we've had where the world is now safe, that's really going to erase years and years and years of deep-rooted instinct that was built there to keep us alive and so we could reproduce. If you really think this modern world is going to erase all that, then you're on drugs. You must be. So if a woman needs a strong, resourceful man, what does a man want from a woman? Well, the man can afford to be a little less picky because, well, he can shoot his load all day long. I mean, that one man can impregnate thousands of women, although he will have his preferences. So listen up, ladies, because this is important. So let's look at this logically, shall we? I know some of you struggle with this. But please, for your own sake, give it a go. Might even put the glasses back on for this one. So obviously the man is wanting to survive, and he wants his children to survive as well. So what's he looking for? Well, he's looking for a woman who's caring, for starters, isn't he? Because she's going to be the one taking care of his children. And I know that things are different now, but this is still inbuilt instinct. It's in our DNA. Get it through your f***ing heads. And what else? What else are we looking for? Well, she's going to have to look fertile now, isn't she? Because we want some children. We want our DNA to go on and on and on. So that's attractive to us. So is a healthy-looking woman with attractive physical traits. So what does that mean? That means a man has a preference for a young, attractive lady. Lady. And the reason we like that hourglass figure is them childbearing hips. You look like you'd survive childbirth. And it looks like the baby would too. Them childbearing hips are a very good indication. And I suppose, thinking about it, the reason why we love your tits is because we look at them and think our children aren't going hungry. And we like playing with them.
Yep.
So getting back anyway to why women are pickier than men when choosing a mate. Now this is because she can only have one kid at a time now, can't she? So it's a big commitment, carrying a kid for 9 months and then having to look after it with some bloke that's a loser. So she don't want to be carrying no child for some useless idiot when he's not going to be able to look after her and the child. And this leads me to why women are hypergamous. That was a big word, wasn't it? And hypergamy is basically she's aiming up. She's going for the best she can possibly get. Because that way it ensures her survival and her children's survival. It makes perfect sense. So yeah, they aim up. Women aim up. And what does that mean? That means all these women who spout about being the prize.
I'm the prize.
Means you're full of shit, though. Well, men, on the other hand, we are designed to spread our seed. Well, that's why so many men have got that wandering eye when a sexy lady walks past. So before you nag at your bloke for that one, that's survival. That's inbuilt in him. That's in his instinct. We don't tell you off for gossiping, do we?
How dare you?
See, we want to shag them all. That way our DNA is going to definitely live on forever. So if us men have to put up with your hypergamous nature, then you can put up with that. So kind of to recap and whatnot, let's go over all the things that women want and look for, and what you men can do about it. Number 1, protect her. So she's looking for someone big and strong. And you can show this by getting some muscles on you. Number 2 is provider, which means a good job and lots of money. Now, you can't just go up to somebody in the street and, introduce yourself like,
Hi, I'm King D and I'm a big time YouTuber with lots of money.
no, you can't. But you can dress well and smart with expensive gear on and drive an expensive car.
Which means work hard, don't get yourself into debt.
Number 3, good genes. Which, to be fair, the top 2 can also suggest the third. Because if you're obviously clued up and you look good, then that's good indicators that you've got some good genes right there. And number 4 is healthy. Because if you look like you're dying, then what good is it to her having a kid with you? Because you're not going to be around to look after her and look after the child. And you can show you're healthy by showering every day, cleaning your teeth every day, at least twice a day, being well groomed, and dressing in clean clothes, and not smelling like a bear's gooch. Now, what do men want? Ladies, listen up now. Get your notepad out, ladies. Are you ready? So number 1 is look fertile. Now, there's no ordeal you can do with this one, ladies, unfortunately. Maybe moisturise and look after yourself. But I think the main takeaway from this one is manage your expectations, because when you get over that hill, you are not going to be so desired. Number 2 is caring, maternal, which is obviously, being nice and caring, considerate, all these nice things. And you can show this by being nice and caring and all that to the man you're interested in. And believe me, ladies, it'll go a long way. And number 3 is good genes, which basically means look good and don't act like a moron. Which you can do by taking care of your appearance, exercising, and not being a fucking moron. And number 4 is not promiscuous. And I'll explain why. Going back to the caveman days, and I know times have changed, but human instinct hasn't. And us men, we're going to prefer a woman who hasn't been round the block a dozen times. Because looking back at the times when things weren't so safe as they are now, we weren't going to risk our life for some woman who's carrying a kid that might not even be ours. Think about it. There's a lot of other reasons there as well, but we'll get to them another time. And I'm going to wrap it up now before the modern feminists come knocking on my door. Hang on. They're not recognising me now. But just take a moment to think about it. Now, this isn't groundbreaking news now, is it? I'm basically just stating the obvious. But somehow this information just seems to have got lost in the modern times. And we've got men nowadays being told, just be yourself, there's someone out there for everyone. Alright then, mate. And be nice. And that looks don't matter. And women are told that... In fact, I'm not going to go there. We'll save that for another video. So like, comment and subscribe. And tell a friend as well. And be the best you. And do it for you. Class dismissed.